Hello everybody, hello. So today we are going to just be kind of playing around with makeup looks. I have got a really cool palette that I'm going to show you. It was kind of one of my splurges for myself. I'm a big fan of color and sparkles, as you may or may not know, but I like looking unique. Changed my hair up around Easter time, just trying to let it like run out again so I can reapply some other fun color. I like to do that more in the springtime. I like happy bright colors. So today we're just gonna play around with some makeup looks. So what I've got here, I love going to Ulta. I'm a big fan of makeup. I don't like to spend a ton of money, but I will splurge on eyeshadow or sparkles for your eyes. So my favorite product is this. So this is by Morphe, and this is 39L Hit the Lights. I got this, I want to say last year. So as you can see, it's got a ton of fun colors, a lot of bright colors. The middle section here is more for highlighting and for your face, but I do use them as eyeshadows as well, just because they're so pretty. But if you can see in there, all the different colors. I mean, there's tons of great colors, and there's definitely ones that I use more than others, but I like to play around with them all. So typically I'm kind of dabbling around in the maroons and the reds and the pinks, which is something that I never thought I would like, but they actually look really good. So rather than your traditional browns that people seem to go with all the time, I tend to like to do my eyes and make them pop a little more. I'm not a big fan of lipstick. If I do, I usually do like a CoverGirl 8-hour, so it just stays on, put some gloss on. I just don't like dealing with it. But the eyes are really fun for me to do just because I like to be artistic with them, and I like to do fun sparkly things. So we're just going to kind of put something together today while I get ready. So typically what I like to do, I like to follow like a same pattern in how I apply my eyeshadow. I do like the technique I guess you would use for a smoky eye, but I will use those with colors, not just like the typical grays, blacks, like metal colors that you do for a traditional smoky eye. One thing you will definitely want if you are using something like I'm using for your eyes, you will want some sort of a primer. I like the NYX glitter primer. This you can get at Ulta as well. I like this just because, and this set too, this palette from Morphe is very pigmented. Sometimes you see an eyeshadow and it looks super sparkly and pretty in the palette, but the pigment is not that great when you actually get it on your eyes. The pigment is really great. So you would think like, oh, the yellow in there can't go on like that and look like that on your eye, and it does look just like that on your eye. If you like a good quality pigment, I want to say this was like $29 or $39 for the whole palette, which is not that expensive compared to other brands there. So you'll want to put a good coat of glitter primer on your eyes, and typically where I will also do that too, I do it from my lash line to my brow bone, and then I do like in here too. I'll just wipe it across here. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of sparkle or shine, so I'll apply them in the corners or underneath on the sides of my eyelids. So you want to have that done first. And then I usually do my eyebrows second. Currently what I am a huge fan of is using the Glamiera Microblade eyebrow pen. This thing has been awesome. So then I just draw those on, and they make this so it's super easy. Anybody could use this pen. If you know how to draw a straight line, make little lines, you'll be just fine with this. so I've got my eyebrows done. And you can do them before you do your eyeshadow, or you can do them after. I just prefer to do them before, just because that's my preference. It is important to have a good eyeshadow brush. So I like this one that I use. This one is out of an Urban Decay palette that I have. This came with it, but I really like the texture of the brush. The brush makes a huge difference on how much pigment's gonna get deposited onto your eyelids. If you don't have a good brush, just use your finger. If you're the only one using your own palette, it's not a big deal to use your finger. And I will do that from time to time, just if I'm in a hurry. I typically like to have a brush, so if I'm doing something like this, that's more intricate and it's gonna be multiple colors. So this is just my face primer, just because I don't like to wear foundation. I don't like anything cakey on my face. I like my freckles. I don't want to cover that up, but a good primer is really helpful just to give your skin that smooth look. Okay. So there's my primer. The only other thing I also use too is CoverGirl. This is their Clean Invisible Concealer. So I do use this product because, as you can see, I have a little bit of redness under my nose and some little red and like spots around my lips and face. I will do this under my eyes just a tad too. I don't put any like blush on or anything until the end when I'm done. So let's see what color I'm gonna do today. Let's see here. Today we're gonna go with a little bit from this side. I will use a bunch of colors. So I use this one. This is like a face highlighter, but I will use this for underneath my brow bone. You wanna have a light color underneath your brow bone. Otherwise, if you have something dark, if you get your picture taken or something, it's gonna look like your eye is connected to like your eyebrow and it doesn't look very good. So you want to have a nice little area where it's just highlighted like a lighter color. I like sparkles. That's why I choose to use something like that. And I just feel like it, I don't know, highlights my brows a little better. So I have used the big face highlighter there underneath my brow. So then what you want to do with that, you want to be the lightest color that you're using. Sometimes I will use 3 colors, sometimes I will use 4 colors. This up here, you want to be your lightest color. You could also take and put that color in the crease or the corner of your eye here too, just for an extra pop. So let's go with, we're gonna go with this color here. This is kind of a copper, like a rose gold color. And that has shimmer in it, so I'm going to do this from my lash line up to meet where my brow bone color is that I just applied. So this is going to connect the 2 colors. And you can see like where the crease of my eye is, I just pop it up just a little bit over that. That's kind of where my stopping point is. So this color you're gonna want to be like your second darkest color, and it doesn't matter what color you choose. This you'll want to be your lightest color. This will be your second lightest, and then I am gonna go with, this is gonna be my darkest color. It's like a dark brownish burgundy, but what I like to do, kind of like a pop of color, so I'm gonna go with this color. It's like a reddish. Just get a little bit of that on there, and where I'm gonna go with this is like, if you look at my eye, I do it like right in the middle here and give a little color on my eyelid from my lash line to my crease. I just want a little kind of like pop of color. So then like this one, the middle of where my eye would be, and lash line to crease. Okay, so then I'm going to take this color that is just slightly darker, and then I'm going to do with my actual crease. what we've done so far, we've used this one for our highlight. We've used this rose gold for like our all over color up to our brow bone. We've used this reddish color from the lash line to the crease, and then we use this just slightly darker color on the actual crease. What I'm going to do now, I will use this dark burgundy color and just take a little bit of it because this is super dark. And what you want to do essentially is like do the corner of your crease here. It's like almost like you want to imagine there's like a V, and I'll actually use a smaller brush to show you. So I want to like I kind of draw out a V here, so it's like connecting to like you're connecting to your crease. So like where the crease would line up, here's your one side of your V, and then along your lash lines the other side of your V. So what you're doing, just want to blend this here, so it's like you're imagining a V sideways on your eye. And you can bring that over as far as you want. Now, let's say, okay, so my eyelids, I have like a noticeable crease and then an upper eyelid. If you have an eye where it's like a hooded eye, where basically this crease is down on your lash line, then you're gonna wanna apply this in a different way. This, you're not gonna really be able to apply it this way. You can tailor it to a hooded eye though. You'll just layer the colors differently, so you'll probably you won't be using as many colors. I would probably just go with like the rose gold and then do this a little bit to accentuate, but you won't do it the exact same. Okay, so that's my finished product. What I will typically do then is I will take this color that I used first, the sparkly color. I'll get a little bit of this, and then I do that over the top just to blend in where the crease is. So I leave the brow bone alone, and I'll just use this and go over the crease. So it helps blend the colors a little. So then again, like if you had a hooded eye, I would probably just do the rose gold, and then you can do the shimmery color. And then maybe instead of doing like where I would normally line my crease with that darker red, and I would maybe do a little bit of this dark burgundy and mix it with the red, and then combine it and just do like you would for your eyelid towards the corner here, because you're not gonna really have a crease to trace where you're gonna see it. So I would just take that and I would blend the red with the burgundy a little bit, and then do like the corner of your eye and kind of brush it in almost like an ombre effect, and I would do it that way because you'll still get like a nice smoky look. All right, so we are done here. Use a long lasting eyeliner just because I don't want to have to reapply during the day, so I use Maybelline Lasting Drama Matte, and this is black. Typically I will use black. Very seldom do I use brown anymore unless I'm using more of like a neutral browns with like some shimmer, but I usually just find black works just fine for me. So I will do my top eyelash line first. So I just trace. And the key here, I don't have like a point on this. If you can see, this is not pointed. I will still do a little bit of a wing look, and you don't have to have like a tiny pinpoint wing brush. You can still do it with this. So what I will do is, what I found best is you want to stick as close to your lash line as possible. Now you'll want to grab without like touching your actual makeup part of your eye, and if you pull that taut, you're gonna get a nicer lid to work with. And then just line as close to your lash line as you can. Then there won't be that weird like separation where there's no color. That tends to look funny. So just right away I will do a line. And I'll go to about like right here where my like iris ends, and then I just kind of blend it in to meet in the corner here. So I don't want that to look super like black and thick. And then once I've got this line, then I'll go over it, and like starting where my iris is, I will make it a little thicker as I go out towards the corner of my eye. So this will give you a more dramatic effect. So if we start making that line thicker, and then once we get to the corner here, you just pull it and you just kind of bring this out just a little. like that. So I don't do anything too dramatic, just a little bit of a flare right there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. So you'll pull that tight. Then you'll make that darker line starting at your iris. You'll thicken that up. And then when you get to the corner, you just pull outward. Just a little. Because you have a little bit of a flare. Now, you can leave it like this. You don't have to line your bottom lash line. Some people, it just doesn't look good when you line that on there because it makes your eyes look super tiny. If your eyes are already tiny as it is, I would not put anything down here. Again, some people with hooded eyes too, it tends to not look good if you put it on the bottom. And what I would suggest for you, if you really feel like you want to have that something on the bottom, then line your inside here of your eyelid. That way it just doesn't have that funny 80s look that some women feel like they like. You know what I'm talking about. If you just line the inside of this is plenty for somebody with like a hooded eye, where you do this dramatic on top and then just the inside of your lash line on the bottom here. What I'm talking about is that 80s like thick line that goes all the way under here to the crease of your eye here, to the corner of the inside of your eyelid. That looks really bad. So anybody that does that doesn't look very good. So you've got the inner, you can line it all the way to here. This is okay. But what you will want to do, what I would recommend, just on your very bottom part of your lash here, where people typically put eyeliner, just do it a little ways. Don't even go halfway. I just go like a quarter of the way to my iris. And I just leave it like that. Because you still have that line if you feel like you need something, and it's not like 80s like scary black makeup band. Like that doesn't look good. So again, I did the inside, and now I'm just gonna take from the lash line here and just go maybe a quarter of a ways underneath my lash line. So then you'll have where it looks like this. It's not that thick, like, oh my god, like, you know when you see it. And if you're worried about using metallics or bright colors, you know, here's an example. Like, I like the looks of this. It's a textured, it's almost like in a smoky, like the pattern or like layout that you would use for a smoky eye, but you just use colors and you go based from lightest color to the medium colors to like the darkest color on the corner to accentuate. And then I'll do a little bit of mascara. I'm not going to curl my eyelashes today because I don't feel like it, but you can curl your eyelashes as well if you want. I'm not going to do my bottom lashes today either. I just don't feel like it today, but you can do, if you want to do your bottom lashes and you feel like you need underneath, do just the outside ones, then it won't look spidery. So I just do a little bit of that today. And then like I said, if you want to do the bottoms of your lashes, then I would just stick to like the outer ones so it doesn't look like in here that you have spiders. It just sometimes looks goofy and messy. That's it. I'm not doing any lipstick or anything today. I just wanted to like have some life into my eyes. I just wanted to show you a little bit how you can wear color. You know, I'm in my mid-30s. I like color. I like to wear shiny. This is sparkly. This isn't like circus makeup, I don't feel like. So I would just give it a try. The reds, rose golds and stuff seem to be a little bit more forgiving, or less if you're concerned like you don't want to look circusy. But I feel like this is something that I would wear to work, to my job. So, or just out and every day, I just feel like it looks good. You can play with colors. You don't have to use like your typical browns and creams after you're 30. So yeah, just play around with it. If you want a nice palette, like I said, what I would recommend is the 39L Hit the Lights from Morphe. It's got great variety, and you can play around with these. They're really fun. The pigment in here is really great. So I'm just gonna show you. Here's the yellow. I'm gonna do the bright color so that you can really see. Because like typically you look at a color that's bright and you're like, that's not gonna look like that. But the pigment in here is really surprising. So here's the yellow. Now, I don't have any primer or anything on here, So if I did, it would pick it up a lot darker. That's why you use the primer. And that's like for my eyes too, just like I did mine. You'll want some sort of primer because it really makes the color pop. But even this, without primer, I mean, it's just still, it's yellow. The green is super pigmented. And then again, if you had the primer on here, it would be a lot darker. Also, a nice thing with this too, you can use these wet too. So if you get your brush just damp and you dab it in here, the color's gonna go on darker, and you can apply it wet also. Just don't put water on this. Get your brush wet, like a little damp, tap it on like a Kleenex, then use it, and you can use it wet or dry. So that is that. Hopefully that will encourage you to go out and try some fun sparkly makeup for the spring. So yeah, get out there, try some fun new shades, fun new hair for the spring, lighten it up, do something fun. I kind of did mine for Easter. It was a little more red and pinky. I like that. Get out and try yourself some fun, sparkly, shiny colors. Like, it just makes your eyes pop. It just makes you happy. You know, bright, fun colors make me happy. So yeah. Thanks for joining me today. If you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe, and then hit that bell so you can be notified of different things I'm doing. So thanks so much for your support, and join me next time. Bye-bye.